Hello Capsuleer, my name is Gildy and welcome to EVE Online.
Drones. Semi-autonomous vehicles that most of the ships in New Eden can use to add extra damage to their statistics, diversify damage types dealt, or even get the ability to deal it to small agile tackle ships when the ship guns cannot keep up with the pesky tackler keeping you on grid. Most ships use drones for support role as they have bonuses to other weapon types, but there are a few that are laser focused on amplifying the damage and survivability of drones as their main source of firepower. However, drones come in flavors other than damage. There is also logistics ones, which can be used to top up someone's shields, armor or hull. Mining drones used by ships to squeeze absolute maximum mining speeds out of the barges, or criminally underutilized EWAR and utility drones. As you probably already saw from the title of this video, we will look into the last category of drones today because there is some tricks you can pull off with them that could give you an advantage you need to win fights, as it's not always about just who has more DPS. In short, we will ask what the pod are, EWAR and combat utility drones. Let's start with what types of drones are present in EVE and what's their general characteristics. The easiest way to identify combat drones is to sort them by size. We have light drones, taking 5 cubic meters in your drone bay and taking 5 megabit per second bandwidth, being the fastest and usually used against frigates and destroyers. Next are medium drones, being slower but still not bad, taking 10 cubic meters and megabit per second, used mostly against cruisers and battle cruisers, though they can punch down pretty well and are great for punching up. Then we have heavy drones, slowest of the three, but bringing devastating firepower into the field. They take 25 cubic meters and megabit per second to use and are best used against big targets like battleships and battle cruisers. Lastly, there are sentry drones, which do not move at all, but rather are stationary entities that are great for sniping once deployed. They also take 25 cubic meters and megabit per second to get in your ship and are best used against big and slow moving targets. EWAR and combat utility drones only come in light, medium and heavy variants, so we will leave sentries behind for today. The size of the drone is indicated by the number next to the drone name, and type of EWAR is indicated by the 2-letter abbreviation before that. So without knowing it's an acolyte, if you see TD300, it's a light tracking disruption drone, EC600 means a medium ECM drone, and SD900 is a heavy sensor dampening drone. Each of the races have their own flavor of EWAR drone, allowing you to throw curveballs in battle, while your mid-slots either focus on tank and living through the engagement, or applying a different type of EWAR than the one of your drones, leading to overwhelming your enemy. Each drone won't of course do as much as a module on a ship, but diversifying your effects in battle can be the advantage you need to win. Moreover, the EWAR effects apart from ECM are subject to stacking penalties, so starting at 3rd and 4th drone, they won't have a huge effect, so unless you want to simply make sure that you keep up the pressure when the enemy tries to take out one of your drones, you might want to diversify which ones you throw at them. I will mention which effects have the stacking penalty when I get to them. To use EWAR drones, you will need advanced drone avionics skill, and then additionally the EWAR skill responsible for the type of EWAR that the drone will be dealing. Amar start the EWAR line with tracking disruption drones, requiring weapon disruption 3 to use. Acolyte TD300, Infiltrator TD600 and Predator TD900. They apply non-scripted tracking disruption, so both range and tracking speed are gonna be nerfed by 5, 12 and 25% depending on drone size, but it is subject to stacking penalties. They can have pretty interesting use case. Not only they might mean you suddenly get out of enemy optimal range, lowering the damage you take, or even get out of their now fall off, negating damage completely. Tracking disruption drones might also lower enemy tracking speed enough for them to have trouble hitting the drones themselves, forcing them to maybe even pull their own combat drones to deal with yours, giving you even more time to work in an advantage, dealing your damage while the enemy cannot touch you. For combat support, EWAR added energy neutralizing drones to their arsenal, and you need capacitor emission systems free to run them. The drones from this line have the EV tag, and light one drains 5, medium 10, and heavy 25 gigajoules per 6-second cycle, identical to small neutralizer module cycle. They are not subject to stacking penalty, so you can use them either to shake off tackle, as those ships usually have issue keeping cap stability with micro drives used to catch up to the prey, and then keeping up long or short tackle to hold it down. You might force them to not have enough to start a cycle of scrambler, or lose their speed completely and get blown up by your guns. Other use would be for when you are neuting someone with modules, which can do more of course than a single drone, but your cycles might be too long apart, with small neuts having 6-second, medium 12, and heavy ones having 24-second timers. Therefore, to not allow your enemy to regain enough cap between your module cycles, drones might actually keep them neuted just enough to prevent that one cycle of Reaper or any other module. Caldari EWAR drones are possibly the most popular ones. ECM. Their Hornet EC300, Vespa EC600 and Wasp EC900 require Electronic Warfare 4 to operate and have the capability to use multispectral ECM of low jump strength, but using them in high numbers can still get a lucky jam out due to the lack of stacking penalty for ECM, making the enemy lose lock on your ship, being allowed only to lock the drone that succeeded. However, drone ECM lasts only 5 seconds compared to the 20 seconds of module ECM jamming, while drones still have the 20-second cycle time on jam attempts. This can be used offensively of course, making sure your enemy loses lock on you for 5 seconds, plus having to relock you afterwards, which might cost them a lot. But there is also a defensive application for this. I fly a Helios frigate while exploring, the only Tech 2 covered ops frigate able to fly a single drone. My Hornet EC300 saved my ship several times when I got caught in a wormhole by someone trying to gank me on an exploration site. It's of course not a foolproof method, but it is something. I simply aligned out to a safe spot, dropped the drone into space and prayed that it will get a jump in. The moment it succeeded and ganker lost lock on me, I warped out to live another day. Galente entered the drone EWAR scene with their sensor dampening solution, Hobgoblin SD300, Hammerhead SD600 and Ogre SD900. These drones will require sensor linking free to operate. Similarly to tracking disruption, the dampening here will not be scripted, so it will reduce both targeting range and scan resolution by 8, 12 or 25%, making a heavy dampening drone do nearly as much as a scripted sensor dampener 1 without skills of course. Again, this effect is subject to stacking penalty, but having them do a number on your enemy can mean them not being able to lock you, forcing them to fight for the range control rather than fighting you. Moreover, combining sensor dampening drones with ECM ones can increase the effectiveness of ECM by extending the time it will take your enemy to relock you, giving you those precious seconds to keep fighting while not being in danger. Last but not least, we have Minmatar and their experiments. Their EWAR line requires target painting free to operate because that's their specialty, increasing enemy signature radius. Warrior TP300, Valkyrie TP600 and Berserker TP900 can help you hit those shots on smaller targets by blooming their signature by 4, 8 or 20% per drone. It is of course stacking penalized, but target painting is quite useful extra card to have for both turret and missile users, and not having to sacrifice a mid-slot for that might be something to consider. For combat utility, Minmatar is the second empire having those drones, this time in Stasis Webifying variant. So not only you can bloom the signature of your enemy, but also slow them down to ensure your hits will connect. To use those drones, you need to get propulsion jamming level 3. The SW tag drones slow affected ships down by 5, 10 or 20% depending on the size of the drone. This effect is of course stacking penalized as regular webs are. And that's all the drones there are when it comes to EWAR and offensive combat support. Did you know about their existence and effects? Are you maybe considering using some of them in your next fitting? Let me know in the comments. As usual, if you drop any comment under the video, add your in-game name to it. I will be choosing 3 random comments from under this video to give out partner exclusive ship skins. Only original comments count, not answering to someone's comment. 2 more skins will be given away on my Discord server, link in the video description. Both giveaways will finish 3 days from the video being published. If you would like to support me, you can use my referral link in the video description to get 1 million skill points or use code GILDY either in the EVE store or on the Marquee Dragon website. It supports me as I receive a small commission from the purchases done with the code. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a corp mate that might need it, leave a like and subscribe to see my future uploads. If you are interested in what I will talk about next, my videos go up on Sundays. And if we never see each other in space again, Capsulea, fly safe.